What is going on, everyone? Trust the Buzz here. If you're new to the channel, I make Charlotte Hornets content, so if that interests you, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. If you cannot tell by the thumbnail title of this video, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the fourth Summer League game against the Los Angeles Lakers. To be honest, there's really not much to talk about. I was highly debating if I should even make a video, so I hate to disappoint you, but there really just wasn't. Brandon Miller wasn't hitting his shots. Nick Smith Jr., Amari Bailey still are playing as point guards, which that's just not their thing. So I feel like it's kind of doing them a disservice. I know that at least one of them will have to eventually learn how to play point guard. I don't think there is a way to necessarily have both play shooting guard. They're both, I think, too talented to kind of stunt each other's growth by both playing shooting guard. However, I don't feel like Summer League is the place for two rookies to try to learn a new position. I think that in Summer League, the whole thing is to have these guys come in and try to have the environment around them as welcoming and as inviting as possible, because it is their first league, NBA reps. So I think just having them play an off position is just, it's not asking for too much. It's not too crazy. It's just, I don't think you can't really evaluate them as you would like to, asking them to play a position they normally don't play. So I think that's kind of messing them up a little bit as far as showing off their skill set. But I do think there's something there with both. James Nagy, I think, was a big star of the show. He shows that, he can really switch. I think there's just small things he got to learn. Like he wasn't really necessarily covering over on his screens. So when someone would set a screen on whoever, let's just use James Bouknight, for example, Amari Bailey would hedge, but he wouldn't necessarily, it would be a soft hedge. And then James Bouknight really wouldn't fight the screen. So then therefore the guy just gets open. So I know that's like more of a teammate thing. They can get that figured out. But as far as everything else I saw from James Nagy, I think he's gotten better at positioning already. I know that was something I mentioned in his very first minutes, that he's good at rebounding. He just needs to get better at positioning. I think he did a better job of that today. I think he's a good rim protector. He's just a big body. He sets big body screens. I think James Nagy is going to be a very good player for the Charlotte Hornets. And I mentioned on Twitter, if you're not following me on Twitter, follow me at TrustBuzz, TRUZZBUZZ. But I mentioned that I don't think that this year will be the year James Nagy is playing in NBA. I think he'll continue playing overseas or in the G League. But I do see a path for him playing next year and taking Nick Richards' spot. Nick Richards signed a 3-year, $15 million, very, very team-friendly deal. I think he's worth more than that. But I think signing him on a deal makes him easily tradable. And I think there could be real, depending on how this year goes for James Nagy, I think there could be real talk about James Nagy possibly being a backup center next season, even at 19. Well, I think he turned 19 in August, so technically he'll be like 20 years old. So very possible. I like his skill set. I think it's just some refining he needs to do. Getting some NBA League reps or like G League reps, see how things are done over here, I think will help him a lot. But also, you could also tell him, okay, we need you to work on these, go back to Barcelona, or I think was the team he was playing for. So James Nagy, I'm very surprised. Well, not surprised. I'm surprised how far along he is. I thought he was a little more raw than what he is, but I think he's in a pretty good spot, all things considered. Who else is supposed to be? James Bouknight. He just looks lost at times. I know people get mad, but at this point, I don't care. If you get mad, you get mad. It is what it is. I'm calling it like it is. James Bouknight, people say, well, Amari Bailey, Nick Smith Jr. there, but both of them are rookies. James Bouknight this is his third year, and he's still doing what he was doing his first year. We've seen that he's really good at creating space. He just can't hit the shot a little. He's a little too, his shot selection isn't all that. I think he does a great job of finding a way getting to the rim, just can't finish. It just things like that. It's just frustrating. His game has not developed that much at all. He's still good at the things he was good at coming in college. There's nothing wrong with that. But I don't think, one, he's expanded on that. And then two, I don't think he's added other things to his game. It is just Summer League. So at the end of the day, you do have to throw that out there. So it's very possible that he's not taking it seriously. But of all people, you should be taking it seriously. Kai Jones, I think, I say it again, time and time again. People, some people still get upset. Some people agree with me. But Kai Jones, I see it. I think he did a good job on Victor Wembanyama. And then we saw Victor Wembanyama go off for 27 with Kai Jones and James Nagy not on him. And I know he probably just got adjusted. But I think if Kai was better, I think uh, he was the worst possible matchup for Victor Wembanyama because he's someone who, yes, he's not as tall as Victor Wembanyama, but he's still kind of like the same build. He's someone who's a big that could keep up with Victor Wembanyama, who really couldn't shy away. I think that was a bad matchup for Victor. I think Kai Jones might be the Wembanyama stopper. But all jokes aside, it's just Kai, he has it, but then he doesn't. It's like he has half of the puzzle. He just can't put the other half together. I think there was a play where he really, really wanted to go up and dunk it over three people, and eventually just was like, okay, I'm gonna just kick it out to Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller missed the shot, but it was the smart decision. So if you want to see that as growth, I'll take it. But 3 years and it's still kind of like, okay, crazy athleticism, but he ball watches. He doesn't really roll to the rim. He doesn't set hard screens. It's just a lot going on with his game. And I still believe that some of it is that he doesn't quite know what he's doing as far as what is his role, what role he wants to be. The one thing I've said about James Najee is that James Najee is very in tune with his role. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he's not trying to do any more than that. Kai Jones is trying to do a little bit of everything. So maybe if he can consolidate his game a little bit, that will help. But as of right now, it's just frustrating because of the fact that it doesn't seem like there's much growth between his rookie year and now. I think that's Bryce McGowan's. Yeah, it's. Oh, man, I don't know. It is Summer League. He's also a sophomore. I think he's better than Book Knight at this point or on a trajectory. I still think Book Knight skill set wise is better. But when you think about just the impact on the game, I think Bryce has a bigger impact right now, the second. But it's still not good. That's kind of the point. One thing I wanted for Bryce this Summer League was to be more aggressive. Last season, he just wasn't that aggressive. There was a lot of times when he was getting minutes and he just really wasn't attacking the basket. He really wasn't, getting his shot. He was very passive. He's doing a lot more of that. However, it's not, and I said this last video, it's not smart. He's trying to go up over two people, trying to force a foul, trying to force the issue. That I think that is the part where it's frustrating. And I hate to do this because it does sound like I'm giving him slack. Maybe it's because it is Summer League. That's why he's doing that. And I don't expect him to do that during the regular season or that really be a part of his game. He's just trying to get his own. And the reason I say that is because we saw him in the NBA setting last year and he was very passive. I think he was always looking to make the right play. This season, during Summer League, it doesn't seem that way, but it is just Summer League. And I do have, a half a season, 30 games of seeing him play the right way. It's just he wasn't aggressive enough. So it's the balancing act. I will say it's just Summer League, but I will be the first one to come on here. And if he does that during the regular season, be like, hey, what are you doing? So I'm kind of giving him the balance, but it is what it is. I know you can say the same. People will cope for James Book Knight and Kai, but I think it's just different. Other than that, I think that's it. I mean, Brandon Miller, like I said, didn't shoot well, but he did a lot of other things well. I think he played pretty good defense. He was rebounding. I mean, he was passing, but with the Summer League team, it's just we don't run any plays. I think that's just we don't treat. And I don't know if it's the players. You know how I am. I think it's the coaching staff and organization. I think that's a big part of it. But we're not taking Summer League seriously. That's all it is. So that's why I don't even know if I want to keep. And I'm gonna still watch. Like, of course I'm gonna watch. But I don't know if there's a point of keep analyzing these games because I don't think the team as a whole takes Summer League seriously. And to an extent, I get it because it is just Summer League. However, if you're a team that is always being made fun of, if you're a team that is always being like, oh, they can never put it together. If you're a team that your young talent is hard to stay, like we're seeing stuff with PJ right now. He might sign the QO. I feel like you would get tired of that. And Summer League is a good place to kick the crap out the door. When these young guys come in and be like, hey, this is what we're doing. This is how we're moving forward. This is how we're going to play. And if they suck, fine. But at least you're putting them in the opportunity to be good. Like there's barely any screens. There's barely any off-ball screens. There's barely any actions. It's frustrating to watch because it seems like they're just playing free-for-all ball. And I think that's on the coaching staff, but you know how I feel. I've said this, even during the regular season last year. I think it's going to be really hard to expect anything of the players until something changes behind those doors as far as the front office. Now, our owner is changing out, but of course, all the people are still in place. And even then, still, it would be difficult to expect the owners to kick everybody out like in this manner at this time. So I think that's something we won't see till next season, but hopefully they can start, maybe implementing something, because it's just bad. It's just summer league 100%, but I don't think we're taking it seriously. And it's not like we are the Spurs who constantly are developing players. We are the Warriors who it doesn't even matter. Like, we are a team where I think summer league matters. We have a couple guys on the summer league team who we hope to pan out and be good and hopefully can help the actual team. And they're not doing that. And they haven't been able to do that. So that's kind of where I feel about it. It's just frustrating to watch. But yeah, I mean, I probably will come in here and talk about the game, but I don't know how in depth I'm going to go. All things considered, it just doesn't seem like we're taking it seriously. And of all teams, we should probably take it seriously. But that does it for this video. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to talk about. I know that, the offseason is going to get kind of dull right here, because I think the only thing we're missing out is PJ. And then also, I guess we're just going to keep track of just how Brandon Miller's, going. And then I don't think there's going to be any other move. I think they really think Teo Maledon's going to be our backup point guard. So we'll go from there. At least he's a good playmaker. So I think that will help, because we're seeing the lack of playmaking in the summer league. So maybe that will help, having him come off the bench and just kind of be that guy. And that does it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.